Hi guys, Gaming Bear here. Right, I previously did a review of the Panther M10, but it's available again. So let's have a look at how things have changed. So the rest will be coming up in the review that's going to be online, or that's going to be following. The changes armor-wise, if you angle over, you can actually poke over a hill, and your front plate goes from the equivalent of about 190mm up to about 210mm or 208-ish mil. The low plate goes to 94, but if you show your lower plate, then it's your own fault for being penetrated there. The tracks themselves can just absorb your shots. The upper this area at the side can bounce shots quite nicely. If you angle even more from here, so say poking over, firing over your tracks roughly like that, there's a slight chance of being penetrated, but it increases the chance of blocking quite substantially along the side. So adjusting things, firing over, you'll increase the amount of chance you've got of blocking on both the front, the sides. Then you come to the turret. This area is very, very bouncy. The lower plate on the turret is only, if you get the right sort of bounce zone, because of this angling and sloping here. Let's have a look at the standard live collision. The upper plate here is very, very bouncy indeed. 110mm and spaced armor as well. So that spaced armor is very, very effective at bouncing shots. So let's have a look back at the model itself. What I mean is that angling and sloping there. So if you fire over the track there, you've got approximately just under to just over 200mm on the front. Angle, fire over here, you can bounce the shots. There's a thin area here which can be penetrated. Apart from that, the tracks will eat shots. So it's a very useful tank to play, and it's got the preferential matchmaking. So without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the review. Hi guys, Rich911 here, doing a tank review of the Panther M10 to see whether it's worth you getting it before the changes and the deletion of it and the other tanks in April. So I'm going to compare the M10 to the VK3002. And you're thinking, Rich, why are you doing that? It's a tier 6 and the Panther M10's a tier 7. Well, the reason for it is that they both have the same top tier matchmaking. They can both only see tier 8s. Whereas the Panther M10 can see 7 and 8, whereas the VK3002 can see 6 to 8. So they've got the same upper tiering. So for all intents and purposes, you need to treat the Panther M10 as a tier 6 because of the preferential matchmaking. So that puts a whole new spin on the equation. Whereas other people have been comparing them to the Panther at tier 7. No, that's totally wrong. You need to compare the M10 with the VK3002, and then you get a much fairer comparison. So let's put these together. You're looking staggering difference hit points wise. You're looking 500 hit points more on the VK that the VK doesn't have, as opposed to the M10. The M10 has got around about 500 extra hit points, which is immense in comparison. Now the weight, you're looking 46 tons to 42, same engine power at 700, top speed of 46, so it's slower. Top speed of 55. Okay, traverse speed is quite significantly more at 38 in comparison to 30. And the hull armour, you're looking 85 50 40, 60 40 40. So it's got more armour. So okay, and then the turret is the same, 100 45 45. And then the gun, you're looking almost identical. You're looking the same standard damage, the same pen. The rate of fire of 13.33 with the Panther and 14.29. So with the VK. So the VK can actually shoot slightly faster. The view ranges there's 20 difference. The Panther's got slightly less, 20 metres less at 350, and the VK's got 370. Signal range the same. So you're swapping an awful lot more hit points, a little bit of losing a little bit of power to weight ratio. Top speed, you're losing 9 kmh at the top end. Traverse speed, it's far superior in a dogfight to the VK. Hull armour, you've got an additional 15 mil sloped at the 25 mil at the front, which angled you're probably looking an additional 40 mil of armour. So to put it up to 100 odd, but we'll have a look in Tank Inspector and compare them, and then you lose a little in the rate of fire. Let's look at the guns themselves. Okay, the Panther M10, the accuracy and the dispersion is identical on both guns, so it's just that rate of fire. So let's call up Tank Inspector and have a look at the differences between the two. Okay, right, here we are. Let's have a look in Tank Inspector. Right, the Panther M10 armour profile, looking good from the front. You've got the front plate, 85mm, but it's got from the front the equivalent of about 110 to 120mm, depending on the angling. And then if you angle, you're looking up to about 150mm from about 125. Very, very nice. The turret from the front, you're looking around about 170, down to only about 100. Other areas 145, 170, 160, 101. So you can see it's quite solid. 45mm on the turret, and the side, that 50mm. But from this angle, it's an auto bounce. Right, let's compare it to the VK. The VK, 60mm instead of that 85, which gives you only around about 70-75mm. Even if you angle it, you're looking only 90mm. So that's significant. And the lower plate, 60mm, or the equivalent of about 100mm from the front. Let's look back at the lower plate. You're only looking at 70. So this is one vulnerable area of the Panther. The lower glacis there, and this machine gun port, which is at only 50mm, which is just slightly less than the VK's got. So that's about the armour profile. Let's have a look at the other stats underlying the tanks. The gun, basically you're running the same gun, but it's slightly faster firing on the VK, so you're losing out 134 damage per minute. Reload time is what it's made up of. Yep, 14.89 to 13.9, so just under 1. Now the ammo capacity, as they do the same damage, 135 per shot, you've got an additional 3 shots, so you've got 82 rounds instead of 79. So that three shots will give you an additional 400 damage over the course of a battle that the Panther can do over the VK. So that's quite an interesting thing to think of. And the average damage dealt with the Panther is 639, whereas with the VK it's only 516. So an additional 122 average damage per battle, and giving you kills just slightly up of about 8% more kills than the VK. Okay, firing while stationary. Camouflage rating. They're pretty much the same between both the tanks. Oh, about 10% difference. Yeah, roughly the same. Not a lot in it. Okay, manoeuvrability, well, almost identical. Now, traversing the turret, the Panther is actually more accurate in everything. As you can see the figures as we're going down, 0.38. So it's about, can be up to about 30% more accurate on the move. That, which is very, very significant. Moving at full speed, you're looking 20%. Very nice. Full speed and while traversing, it loses out by about that same 20%. So traversing and moving, that's the only time that the VK is better than the M10. So while it's moving and traversing, whereas all the rest of the time, the M10 is better than the VK. Okay, now gun depression and elevation, it's got an additional 2.5 degrees up to 20 degrees. So it's got that extra couple of degrees which helps on elevation, and gun depression, it's got 8 degrees instead of 7.5, which is very nice. Total traverse, yep, 39.6 as opposed to 31.3. Okay. Matchmaking and win rates. The M10 is 0.89, 0.9 better. So it's, instead of 48.6% win chance, it's got 49.5, which is a nice 2% difference in real terms. With the average experience being an additional 21.7 XP per game. So you can see, for the same equivalent tier, and WN7 is up by 20, WN8 is up by 69, and efficiency is up by 20. So you can see that all the little fractions add up to make the VK just not quite, well, to be good, but not as good as the Panther for the same equivalent level. Which is why I say the Panther M10 as a premium is worth getting. If I've bought it, and I'm not going to suggest you get it. Have a look at the review, make up your own mind. But if you come to the same conclusion as me, then it's the time to get it now before the price goes up. And mobility, right, specific power we know is down by 1.4, so 15.23 instead of 16.65. So you lose out a little bit manoeuvrability wise. Chassis traverse, you got 8 more, which is significantly better. The forward speed is only 46, but it's only just that little bit below 50, whereas the VK is 55. So yeah, reversing is the same. Terrain resistance is identical. Basically got the same suspension. Braking force, the Panther's got it over the VK, so by 7,000 newtons, which is nice. It'll stop quicker. So yeah, climbing angle's the same. Now, making money with this tank, you're going to make around about 12,500 extra credits with it, and after everything's been paid for, you'll end up 8,000 better off, which is very, very nice. Okay, health of the tank. Now this is one of the main differences. You're looking at extra 460 hit points, which is brilliant, really brilliant for the same equivalent level. And almost everything is tougher on the tank as well. So the frontal armour we've been through. The modules I wanted to look at. The ammo rack has got 40 more health, which is very good. Turret's got 20. Fuel tank's 25, which is nice. Engine's the same. Tracks have got additional 40, so you're much less likely to get tracked, which is very, very nice. The gun is the same gun, so it's identical. The optics, additional 20. And the radio, which is neither here nor there, but even that's an additional 10. Right, so it's a very, very nice tank with the tiering and what you can actually see. You're getting something significantly better than the Tier 6 VK. So I would say get the 3002 if you want to play the Panther equivalent at Tier 6. I think it's very, very good. You need to not look at it being a Tier 7. You need to think about it in relation to Tier 6s. So this is the straight comparison. between the Panther M10 and the VK3002 that the Panther VK the Panther M10 wins hands down. So this is, I think, it's a keeper. It's definitely one to have. People think of it against tier 7s, but you've got to think about it against a tier 6, and it kicks it, you know. So yeah, I would suggest, if you're looking for a German medium, that this is one that you need to have in your garage because of the preferential matchmaking and the advantages you're going to get because of it. And it's significant. And not just the extra hit points, but as you saw, the additional armour that it's got in the hull. And the sides and the front of the hull are significantly better than the VK. So you've got the same gun, almost as much DPM, but more survivability because you've got more hit points and better armour. You lose out a little bit forward momentum, but your manoeuvring, the M10 is more mobile. You lose slightly on the view range, but everything else considered, it's a strong contender as a tier 6 medium, which is where it has to be pigeonholed, not thinking as a tier 7. I hope this has been helpful. I've been Rich 911, the Gaming Bear, and if you've got any questions, just put them in the notes down below and I'll try and answer them. Or if you've got any other tank reviews you want me to do, just ask. Have a good one and good hunting on that battlefield. Right, that was a review that I did back in the day, just when I came up with the name of Gaming Bear. So yeah, it used to be known as Rich 911. Hey, just how it came out. So yes, the Panther M10. Hopefully that was a good review. Put in the comments what you think and whether you feel that it's worth going for, and whether the ability of it has changed. Like this plate here isn't covering a weak spot anymore. It's just a whole solid front plate. Now the armour is pretty good. Do you think the tank is up to it? Is it worth the money? Do you want the premium matchmaking? And do you classify it as being the equivalent of a tier 6, even though it's a tier 7, because of that preferential matchmaking? What do you think? So put in the comments what you think, and whether you agree if this vehicle is worth it in the long run. Just a little aside, this Panther M10, the model has had a lot of love. Even though it looks battered and bruised with these shot holes through there, the rifling on the barrel at the front, then you come to the scratches, bullet holes going through the plates here, working your way through, you see the scratches and scrapes, the bends on the softened material around the turret of the Panther underneath. It's a gorgeously adapted model of what we've had previously. It's a lovely, it's a bit of a mess, but it's a lovely looking tank for it. Someone's put an awful lot of work into this. Just an extra little bits about it, because you wouldn't normally see what this is like before you buy it. And it's a very unusual model to have this amount of work that's gone into it for something they don't expect to see around a lot. Someone has spent a lot of time to create this, and they've done a heck of a job with it. An awful lot of work for those bullet holes, the shots through, the little bits. Just thank you, Wargaming. This is just a really lovely looking model. So yes, that's just a little bit of, if you don't get to see one, hopefully you can have a look at this and go, wow, look at those little bits, that like the bends, or the soft material that's just got the additional bullet holes through here, right the way down the side. All of these shots that have gone into the material. A lot of work. Someone has loved working on this vehicle. Very, very neat, and I for one appreciate the work that's gone into it. So yeah, thank you for that, Wargaming. Thank you for whoever had this project, and I'll try and bring you details of the changes, the upgrades, the difference of the models. So keep watching the channel, and I'll try and keep pointing out things, unusual, interesting things like this on the HD models as they come out. So for now, let's move on. So I'm the Gaming Bear. You've been fantastic. This is a nice little tank, and I shall see you on the next one. Have fun, guys. Cheers.